What exists for the sole purpose of pissing people off? The pattern of hold music, where the music is really loud with poor sound quality, and is interrupted every few minutes with a voice that you think might be the person picking up to finally help you, but instead it's just a recorded voice quietly saying, "Thank you for continuing to hold, someone will be with you shortly," which is completely redundant information, but then you have to have your ear next to the phone when the loud poor quality music starts blasting again. Either the unsubscribing buttons on emails that don't work or the automatic dialer scam calls. I really think I can pay off my $0 of student debt without a reduction, thank you very much. Mandatory email sign-ups when visiting a website or using a service. Even some doctors and dentists require you to do it now. The pop-up to subscribe in the newsletter of a website that covers the entire fucking page. Of course I will subscribe to it on the first time I'm visiting your website. Fart prank spray that literally smells like sewer filled with fucking shit with one spray. Being hit by this fucking chemical weapon and not being pissed off is impossible. Stickers that come apart when you peel them off of things and leave paper, adhesive residue behind that you then have to try to scrape off. Those pull tabs on seals that don't work unless you really put your back into it, then they give suddenly and the contents of the container fly out and make a hug mess. Those fake $20 bills that are actually church pamphlets. Car alarms. People basically ignore them because they go off too easily, and then nobody ever catches their car being stolen because of the false alarms. So basically, you have a giant siren attached to your car that makes everyone else in the neighborhood hate you. Here's a pretty good article on how useless they are. I bought one of those remotes that can turn off any TV all at once. Legit works 80% of the time on most of the TVs at bars. I've used it 3 times to test it. It is too great of a power for me to wield. There's a traffic light in Boston that's on a road with no intersection or crosswalk, there's literally no reason for it. On a red light, no one else has the right of way, you're just sitting there waiting for nothing. And worst of all, it has a sign that says, "Light timed for frequent stops." I'm pretty sure someone put it there just to inconvenience people. Slime as gifts for children. Bonus points if it's a slime kit that the parent needs to help them make. So not only do I get to try and get this shit out of my carpet, I have to help them make it first. I regret all the times I suggested people get it for my niece as a gift. I know she loves it, but I couldn't understand the evil eye my sister-in-law would give the gift giver until my kids got a slime kit, and I got roped into making it. When you have an itch but when you scratch it the itch is like actually under your skin and so you're scratching and there's no result, I'm not the only one that gets that, right? Filing income taxes. The IRS has all this info already and there's no reason you need to fill out complicated forms so you don't get sent to prison. You should be able to file changes, additions and not have to pay separate companies just to file. The fake X on advertisements, or the ones on mobile that have 2x2 pixels that you can never hit and instead click the ad. Spotify ads. Literally. They are literally designed to be annoying so that people would premium. I mean, I don't mind if there are some ads in music service if the ad is to sell you some product. I'm just waiting for Spotify to buy rights to the Dumb and Dumber movie so they can be like, "Hey, want to know what's the most annoying sound I can make? Skreeehhhhhhhhhh by Spotify Premium Skreeehhhhhhhhhh." Those spikes on the ledges on the sides of buildings to prevent homeless people from sitting. They are created for the purpose of pissing people off so they don't sit on the ledge. When a screen loads up, and then readjusts right when you are trying to click on something, which then causes you to click on the wrong thing. The new red gas cans. The FedGov started requiring a new spout that has a valve that completely prevents you from being able to pour gas out of it. Seems to serve no other purpose than prevent people from being able to use a gas can without pouring gasoline all over the place. Region locking on content, music, movies, video games, etc. Flat Earth supporters. There's no way that many people are dumb enough to believe the Earth is flat. What we're really getting here is a well-executed troll. The best trolls are the ones that convince their target that they are not being trolled. There are these pranking devices you can buy that make sounds like a cat meowing or a doorbell ringing every so often. You're meant to hide them in your office in order to annoy the shit out of your coworkers. The kid who asks the teacher, "You forgot to assign homework," or "You forgot to collect the homework," 2 minutes before class ends. Moms who tell you they don't need help but come to you 5 seconds later and yell, "You never do anything." Nobody ever helps me in this house. Mandatory password restrictions that require you to change your main password, leaving you with 20 different passwords not knowing which is for what website. Pushy charity people. They were all over my damn campus and were relentless. They lined the main walkway that cut across the whole campus. They would walk right in front of you to grab your attention, and wouldn't take no for an answer. "Sorry, I don't have money." "Oh, the campus has an ATM over there." "Sorry, but I can't afford that." It takes only a small sacrifice. As little as sacrificing one meal a day. Looking at you, Greenpeace. Those stupid fucking bright bluish headlights that keep fucking blinding me. There's one in the drive-thru behind me. These things are the worst. White paintings. Just watched a good video about it on YouTube. If a plain white painting pisses you off, then it's served its purpose somewhat. They're meant to induce an emotional response that you can then pick apart and understand why you feel that way. Goddamn 3,000-word backstories on recipe websites before the recipe. I'm trying to cook this damn thing now. I don't need to scroll all down through your story and sign up forms. Just give me the damn recipe. So I first wrapped my taste buds around this succulent relish after a trip to the Greek islands. Insert stock picture of Greece. It was the summer of '04 and my soon-to-be life partner Gerardo, he's a professional blogster, had arranged a hike for us into the mountains where we would meet some beautiful hill people, simple types you know. It was there I met Cici, my newly adopted Greek grandmother. She was crushing tomatoes between her beautiful olive toes whilst milking a goat to form the base of this relish and the cheese we would devour. No one fucking gives a fuck. I'm hungry and just want to see the ingredients so I can see how many of them I don't have in the cupboard and decide whether I can throw together a half-assed version that won't look anything like the picture. Fuck Gerardo. Ticks. Evil blood-sucking ticks. Transmit illness. If only we could weaponize ticks with vaccines instead of illnesses. Freaking ticks. The long life story that comes before any recipe online. I've seen the picture, it looks tasty, I wanna cook it. I don't care how many generations of your family it's been through or how much your rugrats like it. Reddit's obsession with mobile app. Because when I open any page in mobile browser without marking, pretend to be a desktop browser, open in Reddit app, basically every third click use app becomes an attempt to force me try our app to get some goddamned app again even though browser is perfectly fine. Open this link in app or browser? I mean their desktop browser, of course. Keeper, in Binding of Isaac. It's like, I really hate myself today, so I'm going to go try and kill Hush with Keeper, and if you actually manage to pull that off, you know what you get? A penny. Keeper starts with 1 penny. That's your reward for beating one of the game's hardest bosses, with the game's most frail character. Rolling coal, setups for your giant diesel truck to spew more black soot out on demand. My diesel mechanic friend says it actually hurts your truck and adds 0 performance, so I reckon the sole purpose is to own the libtards. Very clever. Those severe tire damage things. If the goal is to stop me from going in that side of the driveway, then why purposefully disable my vehicle right at the entrance to it? Seems counterproductive and only there to cause trouble. The current old USB connectors. Rather than be bidirectional, there is an upside and a downside, so you waste time putting it in. First try, you push it in lightly and either way it doesn't go in. Second time you push harder, and it might go in. If it doesn't, then your first orientation was right, so it takes 3 tries. Excessively thin phone charger sockets. Easy to bend, break if you look at them funny. Online articles, especially those top 10 ones that has a link for the next page to another link, where they can fucking well put the entire damn article in one, but no, they'll only include 2 of the top 10 in a page because for ads. Fraud flags on purchases. I've been buying my groceries online for at least a year with no problems. A few weeks ago, I tried and received an error. No notice that my card was declined. I didn't find out there was a block on my card until I couldn't get gas the next day on the way to work. Block removed, okay. A week later my bank account was cleaned out $40 at a time with pizza purchases in 3 different states on opposite sides of the country. No flags, no blocks, just overdraft fees. I filed a fraud report. The bank returned my money, including fees, within 3 days. A week after that, my card is blocked again when I tried to buy groceries. So the bank flags my legitimate purchases as fraud, and does absolutely nothing to stop the real fraudulent purchases. They actually told me that I have to call them to get permission anytime I want to use my own money to buy my groceries online. TV network channels where the commercials are intentionally louder than the actual programming at the same volume setting. All it is doing is forcing me to hit the mute button as quick as possible until my program is back on.